Everybody. We hope your morning is going great so far. We do hope that you learned something from our last interview with Dr. Augustine there, who's a microbiologist and immunologist as well. Now we are switching the conversation a little bit. I'm going to be chatting this morning with Alisa Gomez, who is from the environmental EMA, the Environmental Management Authority. I don't know where my thoughts went. And Alisa is an environmental education officer. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Now, we are celebrating tomorrow, and it's World Environment Day on the 5th of June. And the EMA is the authoritative body that manages, anything dealing with the environment, and they're the ones that are really gatekeepers for those who make infractions against the environment as well. How is the EMA observing World Environment Day tomorrow?
Well, just a little background in terms of World Environment Day. It is a United Nations Environmental Day. It's an observance of the United Nations. And the EMA has been observing it from inception because the EMA was formed in 1995 on World Environment Day. So it has special significance for us. We'll be celebrating our anniversary tomorrow. It will be our 26th anniversary. Last year was our 25th.
Right.
Yeah, so we are growing older every year. And in terms of commemorating World Environmental Day, we are keeping it quiet this year because we just came out of our Greenleaf Awards, where we would have recognized the work of individuals throughout Trinidad and Tobago who have been involved in environmental conservation, protection,
Right.
and so on for the past 25 years. That was done on Earth Day, on the 22nd of April. So World Environment Day is a little quieter than usual, but it is our anniversary. And every year there is a theme. This year the theme is related to environmental restoration. The specific theme is reimagine, recreate, restore. So it is inviting anyone from the individual to the organization to do something to work towards environmental restoration. It can be as simple as doing something to reduce waste or starting a compost bin, something like that, to recycle your waste, that sort of thing. So anybody can get involved, and the EMA is inviting anyone to do their part at this time as we work towards environmental restoration. This has become especially important given that the United Nations has declared the next decade as the decade of environmental restoration. So 2021 straight through to 2030 is the decade of environmental restoration. So we are kicking that off tomorrow with
and we need, as Trinity winners, we really need to do so because we have a bad reputation when it comes to our carbon footprint. We are per capita highest in the world, and we're actually pretty up there when it comes to waste generation per individual as well. So what can we do, to be better people to the environment?
Well, in terms of reducing your carbon footprint, it can be as little as turning off lights when you're not in a room. I know a lot of people like to have the television on for background noise, that sort of thing. So you can turn it off if you're not actively listening to it. Unplugging chargers when they're not actively charging something, and taking a walk instead of driving. So that way you are actually burning energy rather than burning carbon, that sort of thing. So those are little things that can be done. And there's also recycling that takes place locally. And that is done through the EMA's iCare project. So you can take your recyclable materials, beverage containers, plastic, Tetra Pak, which is like the juice packs and so on, aluminum cans and glass. They go in the iCare bins and they are collected and sorted for recycling. So there are lots of things that anybody can do in terms of reducing your carbon footprint or working towards reducing waste in general.
Now, in Trinidad, widespread recycling, as you were mentioning recycling earlier, we know that as you were just mentioning, the EMA has the iCare program as well as the there's organizations like Swim Call and stuff that engage in recycling as well. But why is it not a national thing? Why is it not like in other countries like the US and Canada, where there's, just on the sidewalk with your regular bin, their recycle bins as well? Why haven't we gotten to that point yet?
Well, the intent is to move towards that. The iCare project is a stepping stone towards recycling eventually being taken over by regional corporations. So there have been pilot projects in different regional corporations where there would have been curbside pickup that would have been done in the past, and that is the intention, because the iCare project is a project. It has a duration, and at the end, for it to continue, it would be a matter of it being taken over by the state and the regional corporations for implementation on that level. So it is a working process.
That is very heartening to learn, because I've been wondering for years, why don't we have mainstream recycling? So that's great to know that the work is happening and it will come online soon enough. When it comes to our energy and energy consumption now, I understand that our electric plants run on fossil fuel. How true is that?
Yes, the majority of our energy is produced using fossil fuels, natural gas at present. And
right.
Yeah.
So how sustainable is it then, even when we are trying to move toward things like electric vehicles and such, would it not be foregoing the gasoline itself to power something that is ultimately burning fossil fuel in any case?
Yes, and there are projects that are currently being worked out, developed, and so on, that would allow for us a local solar farm. I know that the Ministry of Energy is involved in terms of an area in central Trinidad, and in terms of developing that. So there are things that are happening that the Ministry of Energy is taking the lead on in terms of implementing for a national scale sort of thing.
That is really some great news, because again, these are things that the average man on the road wouldn't see happening. They wouldn't understand that these things are going on, and to really know that we are making those steps in the right direction. Even as we lead up to World Environment Day tomorrow and stuff, it's great to know that these things are going on in the background. And when it comes to further plans for alternative energy, clean energy, is there anything that is on the table right now with the EMA?
Well, the EMA has a greening committee right now, and we are strategizing and working towards greening the EMA's operations. So that is ongoing as well. There have been efforts in the past, but with this committee, it is focusing a bit more on the climate change aspect and carbon emissions. So, for example, we would have filed to get a grant to put solar panels on the roof of the EMA at the Port of Spain office. And there are intentions that we can move towards that. And we are also looking at other options. So right now, the Greening Committee is strategizing and developing a proposal and working towards implementation of the proposal as well.
All right, wonderful. Alisa, that's all we have time for this morning, but I do want to thank you so much for joining us. I want to wish you and the EMA congratulations on the 26 years of existence so far, the great work that you have been doing. Happy World Environment Day tomorrow, and have a good one.
Thank you. Same to you all.
All right, we are going to take that short break. Now we come back.